Kia ora Year 10, here's video 3. This one looks at dividing fractions and it goes with Gamma 1103. So I'm going to do these 5 examples that go from pretty easy to a little bit trickier, and we're going to talk along the way about some different options for how we do our simplifying and show our working. But I'm going to look at that first one, but before I do, we're going to go right back to year 1 or 2 and think about what division means. So here we are doing some algebra and we've got coefficients and we've got variables. But really, what's going on when we divide fractions is very similar to what was going on when we were back in year 2 and we had 6 dots. Or we probably had 6 chocolate bars or something, and we asked how many groups of 2 are there in 6. Okay, so we've got one group of 2, 2 groups of 2, and a third group of 2, right? So the answer is 3. So when we do algebraic fractions, it's really easy to get into the, oh, what do? We have to flip the second fraction and multiply. But it's all about what that means. So let's think about what 6x divided by 3x looks like. Well, we know that when we're doing algebra, we don't usually write it like that, right? We write it as a fraction. So 6x divided by 3x is equal to 2, right? Because x divided by x gives us 1, and 6 divided by 3 is 2. But let's think about how we could draw that out. Well, this means how many lots of this 3x are there in 6x. So if I had some nice algebra tiles, I know someone's going to tell me that, then I could do this like this. I've got 6 x's, and I want to know how many groups of 3x have I got. So there's one group of 3x, and there's a second group of 3x. So that's why my answer is 2. Right, now that doesn't mean that I want to draw out algebra blocks every time, because I want to get fluent enough to just do it like this. But when we come to our first question, hopefully you can see that if I've got 4a over b divided by ab, that's the same as saying 4 lots of a over b. Right, so that's what that is, divided by a over b. So the answer here is going to go like this. Instead of having the little tiles be x blocks, they're going to be a over b's. So we've got a over b, and we've got 4 of them. Now we're asking how many, that's what this divide sign means, how many lots of AB are there in here? Well, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So somehow I know my answer's got to be 4. So now let's look at how we get there in a more algorithmic and boring way. So 4a over b divided by a over b. Well, back when I did division with ordinary fractions, we learnt, probably from starting out something like this, that a shortcut was to do the following. We take 4a over b and we multiply it by b over a. So that gives me 4ab over ab, right? So if you're not comfortable with that, you need to go back and look at video 2 where I did multiplying. So 4ab over ab gives me 4. So we're done. Okay, so from here on in this video, I'm going to get straight to doing it this way, but I really want you to have a good understanding of what division means. Okay, because it's the worst understood operation out of most secondary school students all the way through maths. Right, so 6x over y divided by 3x over y is equal to this. And again, you should be able to see from looking, I've got 6 lots of x, y tiles, right? And I want to know how many groups of 3 of them are there. So the answer is going to be 2, but let's see how that comes about using our normal method. And we've got this divided by this. Actually, I'm not going to do it that way yet. I'm going to do this. I'm going to multiply the top 6xy, and I'm going to multiply the bottom, and then I'm going to simplify. X divided by x is 1, y divided by y is 1, and 6 divided by 3 is 2. Right, now let's have another look at the method I was starting to do, which is what we did in video 2 when I showed you how to do multiplication. Right, so it's always okay to times the top and times the bottom, and then to simplify. But here, going back to that middle step, we had 6x over y times y over 3x. And we can start to simplify like this. Y divided by y is 1, and x divided by x is 1, and then 6 divided by 3 is 2. So you've got a choice there. You can either multiply the numerators and multiply the denominators, or you can do this method. Okay, on to number 3, where we've just got lots of different variables, no coefficients. So we've got a over x times the reciprocal of this, which is b over c. Right, the reciprocal, meaning if I've got 4 over 3, 3 over 4 is the reciprocal. So here, what have I got? Well, I've got AB times XC. Now that's fine. I would rather write it alphabetically, so I'd write AB over CX, but they're both okay. Number 4, 3x squared divided by 4 divided by 2 over x. So it's going to be 3x squared over 4 times x over 2. Now, in this case, there's no simplifying that I can do ahead of time because my coefficient here is 3 and I haven't got any factors of 3 down here. So this is one where we have to multiply the numerators and we get 3x cubed. Remember that's got a power of 1 on it, divided by 8. And I can't simplify any further, so I'm done. Right, now the last one is one where I want to make sure you pause the video and have a go at it on your own. This is a bit like some of the trickier ones in Gamma 1103. So you've got a choice of method. You can either try and do some simplifying once you've got to the multiplication step, not before then, or you can times the top and times the bottom. So pause the video, have a go at it, and I'll work through it. Okay, well, whichever of those two methods you tried, this has got to be your first step. You can't start to simplify when you've still got a division sign, or you're going to get into an incredibly big mess. Now the first way to do it is just to multiply everything out. So we've got 30 x to the power of 4, and then here we've got y to the power of 1, y to the power of 1. So I'm adding the powers because I have the same base, right? That's a review of last term's work. We've got that. And then the denominator, we've got 5x to the power of 3, because that's got a 1 there, times y squared. So now we're good to start simplifying. 30 divided by 5 is 6. X to the power of 4 divided by x to the power of 3 gives me x. And y squared divided by y squared is 1. So my final answer is 6x. Now I'm going to do it with some simplifying from this step here. Okay, so I'm going to do the whole thing again right from the start. So 10x to the power of 4y over x y squared divided by 5x squared over 3y is equal to this. But here's where I can start to do some cleaning up. Well, 10 divided by 5 gives me 2. Here I've got y times y divided by y squared. So we can simplify those out. And with the x's, I can see that I can clean up. Right, so where I would probably get to is I would then go 6x to the power of 4 divided by x to the power of 3. If you start trying to simplify the x's when they're in 3 different places, the chances that you muck it up and go wrong are pretty high. So you can choose how much simplifying you do before you do your multiplication. And the more practice you do at this year and in year 11 and year 12, the better you're going to get at these. Right, so that gives me my final answer of 6x. Okay, that's all for now. I'll do some more videos later on, but probably tomorrow. Thanks for watching.